Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Unconscious Communication Secrets. Today, we are talking about what are the ingredients when it comes to your persuasion and influence. First of all, good morning, Rima. Thanks for coming on so early. Love seeing you on here. And thank you once again for tuning in. So we are live a little bit before 5 today, and I am going to be talking about the levers when it comes to unconscious communication. Well, not just unconscious communication, but when it comes to persuasion. We're talking about the ingredients that it comes to those mind hacks that get people to take action. So let's start off with an analogy, right? I'm a pilot. I was supposed to do something. There we go. I'm a pilot, right? And when I'm flying a plane, I need to maneuver in any different ways. Like I need to either go faster, I need to go higher, I need to go lower, right, left, etc. Forgive me if I'm not using airline terminology or pilot terminology, but you get what I'm saying, right? So you have multiple levers that allow you to maneuver based on the situation that you're in. And that's what we're talking about today. When it comes to your influence and persuasion, what are the levers that will help you to get faster in terms of your influence? What gets people to take action? So now, back when I was a lot younger, where is it? When I was a lot younger, not that young, when I was at university, after university, my first job, I worked in door-to-door sales. And on one of the first trainings, my trainer Richard came out and he said, "Look, here's the script, but the script is not going to get you the results. What's going to get you the results are the impulses, or what I call the principles of persuasion. And literally, if you aren't able to get a sale on someone who is sellable, then half the time you have missed one of these out." And so, sure enough, when I'd go and speak to people every day, I'd go and speak to people, and then if I didn't do well, and my trainer thought you could have gotten the sale, but you missed out one of these things. And I'm going to go through these things. Now, these principles, that I'm going to be sharing with you today, are heavily influenced by Dr. Robert Cialdini's book, Indifference, right? He has a number of his principles of persuasion. I've modified it slightly to come up with a little bit of my version based on what I did in door-to-door sales and a couple of other things, but it's very heavily based on his work. And in my book, Power of Persuasion, I wanted to try and, here it is. In my book, Power of Persuasion, I talk about these principles and using my experience, but I also cite a lot of his work in there because he's the guy that did all the experiments that made these things legitimate. So he's measured everything. So so there's 6 principles of persuasion, and I use the acronym FILVOR. So the first one is FILVOR is the acronym. So F stands for fear of loss. Now, before we start going, I'm going to go through each of them, but to give you an example of how this works, I'm going to give you one example of how each of them apply. But let's say there's a pill on a table, right? And you don't know if this pill is you have something wrong with you, okay? You're sick. Coronavirus, let's say, right? And this pill could potentially cure you, right? But also it could hurt you. You don't know. What's going to make you take it? So the first one is fear of loss, right? Like if you are afraid of losing out. So if this is like the only pill left, and you know that this is the one that could potentially, like, it reduces the risk, like it reduces your risk threshold, because you know that if you don't take this, then you won't get better. Then you're afraid you might lose out. so you're willing to take more risk. If you think that this is the last pill that's there, and if you don't take this, you aren't going to be better, you're afraid of losing out on that potential, so your risk threshold reduces and you're more likely to do that. Okay, so number one, fear of loss. People will take action because they're afraid that this is the last one, and they're like, you know what, I don't want to miss out. If I don't get it now, I'm never gonna get it, right? This is like FOMO, fear of missing out, all right? Fear of loss, FOMO, same thing. So first principle is what we call fear of loss. The next one is indifference. Now imagine your enemy comes to you. You're not sure. You're kind of on the edge. But someone you dislike, or someone that you're not too sure of, right? They come to you and say, here, you should get this. Come on, take it. Yeah, please. You have to take it. Like, please take it for me. You know, like, just buy it now. As soon as the person is like so desperate for you to take it, you kind of step back. And you're like, why does this person really want me to take it? What's in it for me? Is he just trying to get the sale? Like, you know, etc. Now, this is obviously ignoring the fact that, like, if this is assuming that the pill is not that important, right? So you aren't going to be biased whether to take it or not. But if someone is just coming up to you going, hey, take this vitamin. You should totally take it. Take this vitamin, please. Then you're like, whoa, hey, whoa, back off. Like, why the hell are you so trying to push this on me, right? So that's indifference. Like, when a person has, like, you don't feel like they have, they're overly enthusiastic about you taking, like it doesn't make a difference to that person, then you're more willing to do it, which is a strange one. The third one is likability. The L in FILVOR is likability. And this is a pretty simple example, right? If two people come up to you, one person that you hate and one person that you like. If the person that you like tells you to take the pill, you're more likely to take the pill. He says, hey, take this pill, it's going to be good for you. If the person that you hate comes and tells you, take this pill, it'll be good for you, then you're just going to be like, And so likability is just pretty much, we listen to people that we like. That's as simple as it is, right? Value in... People do some things that are valuable to them, right? If you find the value in something for somebody, they're more likely to do it. So what do I mean by that, right? In the case of a pill, right? Like, if you think that this is going to cure you, there's the value. That's the value. I find that valuable. I would pay money for that. That's value. If you just like you just take a red pill for the sake of taking a red pill, there's no value in it for me. That's not important to me, unless that's your thing. Like, you like to take pills for the sake of taking pills that have no effect, then yeah, by all means. But finding the value in it for somebody, why is it important to them? What about this is important to you? Finding what that value is hugely important. So that's value. Then the next one is other people's perception. If 100 people have taken the pill and they've felt better, then you're like, oh wow, lots of people have taken it and felt better, maybe I'll do it. You're looking at what other people have done, and so you're going to do it. All right, so that's other people's perception. And then reciprocity. So what is reciprocity? Now, let's say you know that this pill is good, right? Like, you know that this red pill is going to be good for you, right? Now, what I'd like you to do is, for a moment, imagine someone that you really dislike, someone that you really hate, wait, hold on. Then when you think about them, you get really angry. You're like, I hate this person. Now, it could be a politician, it could be like a celebrity, it could be like, for example, if you don't have anyone that you really hate. But just imagine there's someone that you truly dislike. Now, then imagine that for a second, like you are drowning. You're like in the water, you're drowning, you're like, oh, whoa, whoa. And then some hand reaches in and grabs you and pulls you out and saves your life, right? And that hand is of the person that you hate. Now, if the person asks you after, like if they had asked you before they saved your life, if they said, hey, is this pill going to be good for me, or is it going to be harmful for me? You might just be like, you hate this person, you just like, yeah, whatever, I ain't going to help you, I ain't going to talk to you, just stay away from me. But if they have just saved your life, they've literally just saved your life. You were drowning, they put their hand in, they reached in, they grabbed you out, they helped you. If they've just saved your life, and then they asked you, then you're more likely to help them out. And that's what reciprocity is, because when someone does something for you, then you're more likely to want to do something for somebody. So that is those are the principles of persuasion. That is FILVOR, F-I-L-V-O-R. Maybe let me just write that down. FILVOR. And so the phrase of the day today is like, lose the principles and lose the leverage. I learned this the hard way. Literally every single time, like you can have the best script in the world, and a lot of the times if you have the delivery, which is great, like you've got great delivery, but unconsciously if you're not triggering any of these principles, then you're not really persuading. You know, you're just saying words that for the sake of being said. But these are the levers that get people to move and get people to take action. Like I said, this is the pilot analogy. These are the levers that get you to move in different ways and get you to take action and get further faster. So those are the principles of persuasion. This is another episode of Unconscious Communication Secrets. If you have not, please do subscribe on my YouTube channel. Other than that, I thank you guys for tuning in once again. And I apologize, I do have a couple of things over the next couple of days, so I am going a little earlier than my usual 5 o'clock, but this is, just for the next couple of days. So other than that, thanks for tuning in. Lots of love. Peace out. And I will see you on another episode very, very soon. Peace out. See you soon.